I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. Again, continue in the book of Revelation. We read the introduction and his message to the seven churches. Then we get into the real prophecy, the real revelation. John saw Christ sitting on his throne with the 24 elders. He saw the beasts representing the classes of life that will exist in heaven, and they all worshipped God. Now we continue this in chapter 5. In this video, we have a Joseph Smith translation. Now, what the Joseph Smith translation is, this is a translation or correction done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that have been lost or corrupted over the years. The Revelation of John, chapter 5. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, Who is worthy to open the book, and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open, and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne, and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, as if it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God, sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and hast made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beasts and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands, saying with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches, and wisdom, and strength, and honor, and glory, and blessing. And every creature which is in heaven, and on earth, and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them, heard I saying, Blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb for ever and ever. And the 4 beasts said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshipped him that liveth for ever and ever. This is an interesting one. I was wrong in my reading in chapter 4, where I said that the one sitting on the throne was Christ. It's not, it's the Father. John saw the Father sitting on his throne. Now we have Christ coming in the throne. He comes out of the throne. He comes out of the Father. But he comes out as the Lamb that is slain. But he's still alive. He's still moving. He was slain, and yet he is alive. And he is able to open the seals. Now it says that in the beginning there, no one was found who could open it, whether in the, where was it? In heaven, in earth, nor under the earth. So those in heaven, those still living in mortality, and those in the spirit world. Nobody could be found who could open the book until Christ came. And Christ is able to open the book, and we get all this praise of Christ. Now, Doctrine and Covenant 77 again tells us that the book represents the economy of God concerning this earth for its 7,000 years. And in this case, economy would mean the management and governing of the earth. This is God's plans from the fall to the final judgment at the end of the millennium. That is what this book represents. It represents all of God's plans, how he is planning to oversee the events of world history, with each seal representing 1,000 years. Who is able to open it? It is Christ. Now, the book isn't the actual history. This isn't saying that when you open the first seal, that suddenly it causes it to happen. But this is the book, the record of his economy. This is a representation. This is when Christ opens the seals. It's not causing the things to happen, but it is revealing what God plans to have happened, or planned for the past 1,000 years, 4,000 years. So this is just his blueprint. This is the plan of what's going to happen. And the only one who has the ability to unseal the book, and thus by unsealing it, he doesn't cause it to happen, but he reveals it to men on earth. By unsealing the book, he makes his economy known, and only Christ is able to do that. Now recently, watching on YouTube, I heard one guy say that the seals represent priesthood keys. I don't know if that's true, but it would make sense in that Christ, as I've said in previous videos, he was ordained to be Christ in the pre-existence. That was his priesthood calling, and he was given the priesthood keys to be the Christ and the Messiah in this life. And therefore, he holds the keys to reveal the economy of God to man. It makes sense. I don't know if that's actually what it means, but it is a logical conclusion to draw. Now we leave that and we're going to look at the Joseph Smith translation. There are a couple here. Not too many, but there are a couple. So in verse 1, again we have where he says, of him that sat on the throne, corrected to, of him that sits on the throne, because it's been referencing the Father. He is always there. He always sits on his throne. In verse 2, we have a couple of small changes. So at the beginning, where it says, and I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, we have an addition here. I saw a strong angel and heard him proclaiming with a loud voice. A little better grammar, not a change in meaning. But at the end there, we also have this change where it says, and to loose the seals thereof. Take out the word to, it is now just and loose the seals thereof. Again, minor grammatical correction. Finally, this one is important. In verse 6, near the end, describes the lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God. Now, normally, this is just changing spirits to servants, which it does here, but it also changes the number. So it now says, having 12 horns and 12 eyes, which are the 12 servants of God sent forth into all the earth. So now, these horns and eyes on the lamb comes out. He's the lamb that was slain. He comes out having 12 horns and 12 eyes, now representing the 12 apostles. He has come out. Christ, in this representation, the lamb is Christ, the horns and eyes are the apostles, meaning that it is through the atonement and Christ's ministry in establishing his church, and through the apostles, that this revelation is made possible. It is not just Christ revealing this to everybody, it is Christ through his apostles revealing the Lord's economy to man. I'm going to leave that there, and I will pick this up in chapter 6.